From the Gert Boyle studio at OPB, this is Think Out Loud. I'm Dave Miller. According to a lawsuit filed by the Rural Organizing Project, Oregon State Police have allowed federal officials to access law enforcement databases as part of their immigration enforcement actions. The nonprofit says that in doing so, state police are violating Oregon's sanctuary laws. Martha Verduzco Ortega is the director of Immigrant Help Centers at the Rural Organizing Project. She joins us now. It's great to have you on Think Out Loud.
Thank you so much for having us. We're here to share some information with you.
Can you remind us what Oregon's sanctuary law says, what it prohibits?
It was a law that was passed in 1987, nonpartisan, and it prohibits state and local governments from using their staff, facilities, or other resources to assist federal immigration enforcement. And then voters overwhelmingly affirmed the support in 2018, and the legislature strengthened it in 2021.
This lawsuit is specifically about federal access to two different databases. What should we know about these databases?
So the databases that they're using to share information and their agreements that are in between Oregon State Police and the Immigration Services is NLETS and LEDS, which is where we get like criminal background checks and access to our driver's license database.
What kind of information of Oregonians is in these two databases, LEDS and NLETS?
So in LEDS, there is your criminal background. And then in the NLETS is driver's license, driver history, driver's license photographs, vehicle registration data, and law enforcement records.
What exactly led you to file this suit?
The Rural Organizing Project is a statewide nonprofit, and we work to build rural communities that are safe, welcoming, and inclusive. We've worked on the sanctuary, making sure that the government is accountable and not sharing information that with the Oregon sanctuary law. And so we don't want Oregon State Police to be sharing our private information with immigration.
An ICE spokesman told OPB, quote, ICE does not comment on specific law enforcement tactics or capabilities. Oregon State Police, in their own statement to us, said that the agency was aware of litigation, quote, related to federal immigration enforcement access to Oregon records, but they said they could not make comments about a pending lawsuit. They did add this, though. OSP is committed to following Oregon sanctuary laws and has not taken any actions that would violate those laws. What's your response?
ICE agents have testified in federal court that they target entire communities and they run vehicle license plates to find vehicle owners' names and birth dates for immigration enforcement. So they have made statements, and there's been many news reports. Congress did a letter in 2025, and then at least 4 other states, Illinois, Massachusetts, Minnesota, and New York, they've stopped allowing federal agents to access their resident status. I mean, there is a lot of information that has proven that they do, the ICE agents do use our information.
One of the contracts between Oregon State Police and ICE's enforcement and removal operations side states this: all users agree not to share data derived from this system for the purpose of federal immigration enforcement. That is written into the contract that state police and the feds sign. So what evidence do you have that ICE in Oregon is in fact using data from these systems for federal immigration enforcement?
Oregon Law Center has gotten information that federal immigration authorities accessed Oregonians' data more than 1.4 million times in the last year. There's been ICE detained 1,100 community members, and then they've overturned information. OSP has overturned information to ICE using the Oregon State Police database.
How are other states handling data sharing agreements. You talked briefly about this, but I want to come back to it. It's an important piece here.
Well, there's other states that are not. I mean, we're fighting back so that this doesn't happen because they're storming into our communities. They're targeting people they're profiling us based on how we look, how we talk. I mean, they're disappearing our neighbors. I think it's all over the news how it's affecting the whole U.S. when ICE uses our information to just target.
What's the timeline for this suit right now?
Well, we just filed it. It was just filed in April 30th. So it's just starting.
I mentioned at the beginning that you are the director of Immigrant Help Centers at the Rural Organizing Project. What has that meant over the last year and a half?
Well, we opened this Immigrant Help Center about 2 years ago with the hopes of assisting people with navigating our regular systems within our communities, making doctor's appointments, helping them pass their driver's license tests, helping them become U.S. citizens, renewing their green cards. And instead of that, we've had to focus on rapid response services and assisting people with getting food to their homes because they're so afraid to come out. We've had to develop big rapid response teams so that because we know that ICE comes into our community in unmarked vehicles, they speed through town, they chase people, they cause accidents. I mean, we've been focusing on creating coalitions to protect our immigrant and refugee communities instead of actually helping people with basic needs.
Have you seen a decrease in calls in the last few months? There has been less visible activity, it seems, but I'm wondering if that's led to a decrease in calls to your help center.
Yes, well, we are in the Gorge area. We're connected to the PERC hotline, so we're the Gorge Regional. So yes, the calls have diminished a bit, but people are still afraid.
Martha Verduzco Ortega, thanks very much.
Thank you, Dave.
Martha Verduzco Ortega is the director of Immigrant Help Centers at the Rural Organizing Project.